That's all misrepresentation.
Well, that's what it was on the web.
It's all misrepresentation. Because, yes, the first few questions are easy, but I'll bet you couldn't even answer the last 5 questions. I'll bet you couldn't. They get very hard, the last 5
Well,
questions.
one of them was count back from 100 by 7.
And let me tell you,
93.
you couldn't answer.
All right, what's the question?
Many of the questions. I'd get you the test. I'd like to give it. But I guarantee you that Joe Biden could not answer those questions.
Okay.
So that was Donald Trump once again flexing his mental prowess by bragging that he can pass a cognitive test, while Joe Biden, of course, not. Now, the whole purpose of the cognitive test is to make sure that your brain actually works, that it's not melting and coming out your ears. Well, congratulations, Donald Trump. You just proved that you passed the test, that your brain is not melting and coming out your ears. Wow, what an achievement. Congratulations. I love that in his original brag, because this is like a double down, or maybe even a triple down, where he's like, yeah, the doctors were so surprised that I could pass a test. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we have listened to you talk. So, yeah, I guess it is kind of surprising that your brain is intact and not mush. But anyway, so let me first preface this by admitting on the Joe Biden part, right, that I was concerned about Joe Biden. And let's be honest about that, right? Joe Biden's not as sharp as he used to be. And that does happen in old age. He sometimes gets confused and forgets what he's saying, loses track, all that stuff. And again, that is explainable with him kind of losing his edge in his older age. There's nothing wrong with pointing that out, right? That said, I think he would pass this test. He's not nearly as gone as Donald Trump claims. I'm just saying. I think he would. Yes, he could point to an elephant and say that that's an elephant. The same as Donald Trump. But nonetheless, you heard him. He said those last 5 questions, they were tough. So Joe Biden can't answer those questions. Okay, so let me show you what those last 5 questions were. I mean, you can clearly see that the naming portion of it was, hey, it's the lion. What is this animal? That appears to be a baby fake newsosaurus. Very sad. It's a very sad fake news. Just kidding. Okay. So very, very simple questions in this. I mean, because the whole point of the test, the cognition test, is not to score high. It's not like you're asking, physics questions, right? Or calculus. It's, again, to make sure that your brain is functional. If you can't pass this test, then it would show that you're mentally unfit to serve as president of the United States. Again, that's the whole point. So, again, I'm pretty sure that both candidates would pass the test, but only Donald Trump would be the one that brags about it. I mean, it's insane. Again, with Biden, Biden has trouble with his words, some difficulty remembering where he's going with a specific train of thought. Again, we all get derailed, right? And so I can forgive that, right? I can't just point to that and go, no, severe mental decline. I can say again that he's lost his edge. Again, that's what happens when you get a little bit older. You don't remember as well. You don't have as much energy. Stuff like that happens, right? But Donald Trump, I also can't say that. And yes, he spouts verbal diarrhea and constantly contradicts himself. And my God, the lying. But none of which are cognitive impairments. Though I am quite sure that Donald Trump has some possibly emotional impairments. I think the guy's a sociopath that believes empathy is weakness. And a lot of that, according to Mary Trump, goes back to the way his father had treated him when he was growing up. And so I think he's an emotionally stunted man-child. That said, the internet decided they were going to have a field test. Field day. Again, me losing my concentration. With one person saying, my mom lived in a nursing home before her death after suffering a couple strokes, which would be multiple strokes. She was given this test regularly during neurological appointments. The nurse always praised her performance, no matter how she did. You are not given this test for no reason. Oh, that's devastating. That is devastating. One person says, wow, he was right. The final questions are hard. Someone needs to inform him these tests are to see if someone is deteriorating upstairs. If it was all mechanical engineering and chemistry questions, most of the world would have cognitive problems. That's to be fair. Another person adds, well, to his credit, the first 30 questions are animal pictures in second grade math. But the last 5 questions obviously cover advanced calculus, quantum physics, and a bonus essay question on his knowledge of the study of dark matter, which I have no doubt he aced, as he claims. The dark matter, it's the darkest matter in relation to the rest of matter. In the context of matter and darkness, it is very dark, tremendously dark. Let me tell you, believe me. Another person says, my favorite part of the Chris Wallace interview is Donald not remembering any of the hard questions in the cognitive test he supposedly aced. Oh, I love it. Another person says, your father, this is to Donald Jr., I'm sorry, not Don Jr., Eric Trump. It's hard to tell those two apart. Your father brags about passing his cognitive test, but found the last 5 questions very hard. Did he have trouble deciding which was the elephant and which was the donkey? Another one says, the pitiful part of this is Trump claiming that the test is hard, which, again, obviously it's not, is that Trump truly believes the test is hard. What's more, his followers are going to willfully dumb themselves down to his level to make it feel true. It's like militant denial. They've weaponized vapidity into an asset. Most of that I agree with, actually. I don't really know if Donald Trump believes that the test was hard. I think Donald Trump is doing the Donald Trump thing of basically hyping something up that is super simple and easy to do in order to make himself look better. It's the art of puffery, right? You puff yourselves up to make yourself seem like awesome and amazing. And that's just something that he's been doing for his entire life. And so the guy could like take a shit and be like, this is the greatest shit that has ever been taken. Very tremendous, very large and bulbous, very snake-like, tremendous. I must have a tremendous diet, and it shows. Like, it's just one of those things where he brags about things that you shouldn't really brag about. So going back to the puffery and bragging about this ridiculous, not ridiculous test, but ridiculously bragging about passing a cognitive test, which again just shows whether or not you have neurological damage. It's so ridiculous. All right. One more here. One person, Jennifer Henry, says that he talks about this test as embarrassing, and this is a listicle. That he insists he aced it is absurd. Again, 100%. That he suggests others may find it hard is embarrassing. That he found the last 5 questions really difficult is telling. There are only 10 questions. It's not 35 questions long. 10 questions. Devastating. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is in decline. I don't know, man. Maybe it's not just an ego issue after all. I don't know. As one user pointed out, they don't give you this test for no reason. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.